Hey, it's your boy Django Jax, and I got my brother Dallas here with me today, and we are going to be moving some of these rigs down to the data center. So, for those of you that don't know, this is one of my hosted sites right here. My client actually owns this warehouse, and so a lot of these rigs are his, not all of them. But we built this room out because he wanted to have the miners right here at his business. And it makes sense, right? Because his power is way cheaper, and he just pays us for the management. So this room is awesome. We framed this out around one of his back doors, so I could come in and out at any time, so I don't have to go through his, through the front of his building or disturb his work business or anything like that. I just come in and out the back. And so yeah, and then the ceiling is built open like that. We designed it like this so that way the heat would just dissipate out of the room, because the room is actually quite small. It's just big enough to put a couple racks. It's like 400 square feet. It's pretty tiny. And the building is like 100,000 square feet. So the heat from this room kind of just dissipates out and doesn't really affect the air in the building, and the room inside stays pretty cool. We had the electrician install the breaker panels right inside the room so we could have access to all the power. We have our own internet line that runs in. So I have full control over the internet, the power, the breakers. So it's super nice to manage and get everything done. So this rack that we're replacing the fans on them before we take them down, just because I don't have to do it when I'm down there. But I end up replacing a bunch of fans on other racks, so we could have done it down there. But anyway, I'm super glad my brother Dallas was here to help me, because these rigs are super heavy and I did not want to lift these all by myself. But yeah, the client, so we're moving these rigs out because they were only here supposed to be here temporarily, while the data center was getting the power all run and stuff over the past couple months. But they ended up staying a little bit longer than what they should have been. They probably should have moved out like 2 months ago. But the client was fine with having them there helping us out. But the client actually wants to buy 20 more rigs. So we're going to be moving 20 additional rigs in this building. So it's time to get these out and down to the data center, because we need to make room for his rigs. So we're going to go ahead and unload all these miners, and I just usually unload them onto my pallet jack. The pallet jack came with the building, so it's super sick because I use that thing all the time. I would have just brought my own eventually, but yeah, it's super nice having that there. We just wheel them right in. But the rack that I brought, you can see, look how janky these wheels are. This rack is from Home Depot, and the wheels suck on it. All my other racks are from Costco, and the wheels are just fine, but these casters are from Home Depot, and they cannot handle the weight. So do not buy casters from Home Depot if you're buying these style racks. Just put the racks directly on the ground with no wheels, because your wheels are gonna break and you're gonna have to replace them. So luckily I had some extra Costco wheels just laying around that I was able to install over there, because yeah, that's bad. I can't believe I was rolling that around. All right, so now we're gonna take this small rack out of the way, because these are all four of these belong to 4 different people, and all the ones we brought down belong to one client. So it just makes organization and finding rigs really easy. So we're putting them in order. That way it's super easy for me to find them when I need to replace fans or there's errors. I know exactly where they're at. And I mean, when you have a farm, like when you start getting big rigs, like a ton, like over 50 rigs, you really have to keep them organized. Otherwise you just spend a lot of time trying to find stuff. But yeah, I'm just zip tying the PDUs on the back here and zip tying all the cables. I'll always do the power cable management, because the power stuff goes with the racks, and same with on the other rigs. I can usually dolly the rigs out of the way, and that way all the power stays together. See right here, I'm about to dolly these rigs out of the way. The reason I'm moving this third row right here is there's like a massive heat pocket going on between the second and third row. You can see that box fan doing a crappy job right there. So I think what I'm gonna do is move a row of Mystic miners right there, just to kind of suck the heat out, because these open frames have no fans on them at all. So, I mean, just the cards. So, I mean, I'm either going to add fans to the rigs. I'm thinking maybe adding a fan to like the second high and the top one, so every other one, because then the heat from the bottom will go up to the second one, and the second one will push it out. And then the same thing with the third one, will go up to the top one and push it out. And then maybe I can turn those stacks around. I'm trying to figure out how to optimize airflow. I'm still working on it in my head, but I think I might. Yeah, by the way, I was moving an Octominer, and Dallas set up a camera, decided to just dive into my trash pile. So that's what's happening right here when I'm setting this up. Yeah, he's freaking ridiculous. But anyway, I was saying that maybe I might move one of my rows. I really like how those double rows look, but I think maybe we should, maybe separate the rows to add like a row of Mystics in between there, or Octos, just to kind of push the air through, because those 2 rows, there's a lot of heat that just kind of lays stagnant between the rows. And the rigs are fine, but it's like when the heat goes out, like when the AC goes out and stuff, that causes a lot of problems. So I can just make it better You know, and you should always try and improve everything because I'm only going to be putting more rigs in here, right?
Got tacos, boy. Let's go.
Yeah, freaking Dallas got some Taco Bell. Yeah, when you're freaking working on rigs, you basically live on tacos. Like, look at this. Freaking installing. We're have to replace all the broken fans in the rigs that are already here now. And for some reason, like that's like 90% of the maintenance I do at this farm is all the rigs are very stable except, and these Mystic cases, I think they just come with low quality fans. The fans that are in them, they suck. They only last like 3 months before they have to be replaced. And the fans that I'm replacing with, I've tested for like 7-8 months and they're still going. So it's super, the fans I replace them with are super nice. The ones that are in there suck. But yeah, you can see behind these rigs, I have another rack of just 170HX cards on the open frame. And those are that's how I originally was planning on doing this, guys. So those are the first, you're about to see it in a second, but the rack right behind it, that's how I was going to build all of them. So these are the first 170HX cards I got, and I just put them on a rack, all loose, you know, so the motherboard's power supply, everything is loose except for the fans. The fans are zip tied on, and the cards just kind of sit in front of the fans. And I was planning on doing all 500 cards like this, but after I built this one rig, I'm like, there is no way that I'm building 500 cards worth of rigs like this. They absolutely suck. And that's when I just Googled, GPU mining case, and the first thing that came up was the Mystic case. And I contacted the guy, and I was like, hey, can you send me one of these for free? I need to test it to make sure it works. And he sent me one, and it was awesome. And so I bought 60 of them. That's where all the Mystics came from. And then after that, I found out about Octominer, and I actually like the Octominer way better than the V2. The Octominer doesn't even, like, the V2 can't even compete with the Octominer. But then the V3 came out only a couple weeks ago, and the V3 is so much better than the V2. I actually think that the V3 and the Octominer are kind of on an equal playing field. They both have pros and cons over each other. It really depends on what you're trying to do. It depends on what you're trying to do before I would recommend one case over the other. They're both great cases, though. These are my A4000 cards, and they suck because, well, they're all right. The cards are all right, but they do not do very good on the open frames. That's my bad. I need to add some fans. You see on the bottom there, I have a row of fans on the bottom. I need to add fans to all of them or put them in cases because the cases that, I don't know how many available cases. I need to get some more Octos or something, or get rid of those A4000s. I did not even want those A4000s. I bought a bunch from the manufacturer. I bought a bunch of 170HX cards, and they could not deliver the money, the cards, or refund my money. And they're like, oh, we'll just give you these A4000 instead. I'm like, not what I bought, but I guess I'm going to take it. And so I did, and they're all right. But yeah, so now I'm just kind of walking through my farm, giving you the tour, right? So, oh, look, I still have some available power in that row. So I can put 2 full stacks of 4 there. So 8 more rigs can go on this row before I'm fully maxed out on that row. The only other row that's been fully maxed out is the Mystic Miner row. So yeah, I got that almost a full row right there, and then there's a few extra plugs on this row. So I'm like at 70% capacity, right? So I'm getting pretty full. I'm still gonna keep going. I'm gonna go all the way. This whole bar market, I'm gonna get maxed out. And then I still have rigs that aren't even in the rows either. You're gonna see those later. I kind of finished it out. But yeah, look at this freaking trash pile right here. Dallas jumped into this and spread it out everywhere. It was perfect. Like, it was all in a pile, but then he jumped in it and messed it all up. And I really needed to throw that trash away because it just gets bigger every time I come down. Yeah, I got 5 rigs right there. I got, like 3 or 4 right there, and then I got 1 behind me. I got 1 in the power room, and then I think in the kitchen I have like 8 rigs. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only got 6 in there, but I can fit 8 in there total. So I'm probably going to throw a rack in there and just have 8 rigs in there, and I'll probably throw a rack in the other room too because there's no point in. I'm gonna use every single drop of power I can get, So I'm gonna be expanding until that's fully to the max. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This is my first time doing a voiceover. I don't know. This video didn't really have any direction other than just kind of showing you what my life is like. I move rigs around, still getting stuff organized, and getting everything cleaned up. I'm eventually gonna clean up all the Ethernet cables. I just got to figure out how I'm gonna organize all the rigs first. But yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And now I'm on my way to the hospital because my wife's in labor while I record this freaking voiceover. So peace out, guys.